How is it going, everyone? We are coming up on the release of The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered. Now, I know it's a little bit comical as far as Naughty Dog's output on the PlayStation 5. Ain't no Last of Us factions coming out. We don't have Last of Us Part 3 announced. We don't have a new IP announced from Naughty Dog yet. We know they're working on a brand new single-player game, but so far we've had Last of Us Part 1, and we have Last of Us Part 2 Remastered. Now, Last of Us Part 1, obviously one of my favorite games of all time. I had my issues with the $70 price tag. I have my issues with Last of Us Part 2, but guess what? I am really excited for The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered. Now, before we get into this video, I just want to ask you guys, please like this video and do leave a comment with your thoughts. It really does help out the channel a lot, and it is much appreciated. Now, at this point, it is only announced for PlayStation 5. I would imagine, much like Last of Us Part 1, it will ultimately come to PC maybe in the summer or something like that, like a 6-month turnaround. That was the turnaround for Last of Us Part 1. We'll see how that turns out and if that comes to fruition, given that Last of Us Part 1 was one of the worst PC versions of all time. Maybe they want to avoid something like that happening again, so they'll take their time with that. Nonetheless, what's exciting about Last of Us Part 2 is that it will not be a $70 release like Part 1. Part 2 just came out back in 2020. It already looks exceptional from a visual standpoint. It will be $49.99 if you want to buy it outright. However, for most of you that already own the game, you want to go the route of just upgrading your existing copy of the game, and it'll be a $10 upgrade. Now, I would say try to find a used copy of the game if you don't own it and then upgrade it for $10. From what I can see, it seems like pre-owned copies and just copies of the game in general have appreciated in price since the announcement of this upgrade. So if you go and you try to buy, let's say, a copy of the game right now, it's $39.99 at a GameStop. It's $32 used, so, you know, you're not really saving much if you don't already own the game. For a little while, it was very easy to get a copy of Last of Us Part 2 for like 10 to 15 bucks. That's really not the case from what I'm seeing anymore, so that's a little bit of a bummer. Save data for the game can also be carried over if you already have a save for Last of Us Part 2, but there will be a lot of new bells and whistles and a lot of new features included with Last of Us Part 2. Most excitingly, the roguelike no return mode. That is the element of the game that has gotten my attention and really worth this $10 upgrade. But we'll get to that in a little bit. Let's break it down, and all of the information was available on the PlayStation blog, so let's go over some of it. So it notes, whether you've already played and platinum Last of Us Part 2 on the PlayStation 4 or have recently jumped into The Last of Us Part 1 on PS5 and want to continue the story, Part 2 Remastered will offer plenty of reasons for new and returning players to revisit a story that means so much to our studio. The engrossing campaign returns alongside technological improvements, new modes, and new behind-the-scenes features that will deepen your understanding of Part 2's creation. A lot of that is dev commentary that I really liked in Part 1, and it looks like that'll be in Part 2 as well, and give you some insight on why they do the things that they do. Here's what is in store. So first of all, enhanced for PlayStation 5. You're getting this game on PS5. While I did say the PS4 version looked incredible, the PS5 version will look even better. Last of Us Part 2 Remastered will feature enhanced graphics, including native 4K output and fidelity mode, 1440p upscale to 4K and performance mode, an unlocked frame rate option for TVs that support VRR, increased texture resolution, increased level of detail distance, improved shadow quality, animation sampling rate, and more. It brings the world of Part 2's story to life in richer and smoother detail, from the snow-swept mountains of Jackson, Wyoming to the rainy cityscape of Seattle, Washington, and should make a first visit or a return to the complex journeys of Ellie and Abby all the more engrossing. Part 2 Remastered takes advantage of PS5's power and features in more ways as well, including improved loading times. Part 2 Remastered also incorporates DualSense wireless controller, haptic feedback, and adaptive trigger integration to better immerse you in every moment of combat and exploration. And while the game did already look great on the PS4, the PS5 version is going to make an already good-looking game look even better, and you do have a performance mode included for those of you that do want the higher frame rate. You've also got new accessibility options being included in the game. Now, there were already a wealth of accessibility options that were available in Last of Us Part 2 already, but they note we've ensured Part 2's award-winning suite of accessibility options returns for the PS5 experience, alongside new additions like the inclusion of descriptive audio and speech to vibrations, which uses the DualSense controller to indicate character speech and cadence, The unlockable speedrun mode included in The Last of Us Part 1 will also be coming to Part 2 Remastered, allowing players to post their best time. Following The Last of Us Part 1, Part 2 Remastered includes the ability to unlock bonus skins for Ellie, Abby, and their weapons that we're excited for players to see and take some incredible photo mode shots with. You can also get a first look at some of those, and speaking of photo mode, we've made some additions that players of The Last of Us Part 1 may be familiar with, including dynamic lighting, frame forward, and gaze direction, as well as new frame and logo options. So a lot as far as accessibility options go. Director's commentary, whenever it comes to these extended editions, director's cut editions, I personally appreciate it. They note we've also included newly recorded director's commentary across the campaign's cutscenes from director Neil Druckmann, narrative lead Haley Gross, and actors Troy Baker, Ashley Johnson, and Laura Bailey. They assembled to offer insight to the story and its characters that mean so much to both our team and our fans, and we're delighted to give fans even more understanding of the team's approach to this story. They are also including a guitar free play mode for those of us who have already played The Last of Us Part 2. We know the included sections featuring a playable guitar were a favorite for many, and you burgeoning rock stars impressed us with your performances, so we've introduced a new guitar free play mode which lets you strum the strings across a host of unlockable instruments using audio FX pedals to modulate your performance and play as different characters in several in-game locations to customize the mood and feel of your set. And for both new and returning players interested in learning more, we've designed Part 2 Remastered to offer a comprehensive dive behind the scenes of how our studio brought this game to life. A new set of lost levels in Part 2 Remastered allow players a unique chance to check out some playable sequences previously cut from the game. These aren't fully finished levels, but rather early development slices that not only let you see some new glimpses of Part 2's world, but also include embedded developer commentary to give them richer context, explore these spaces, and hear directly from the team about the intention of aspects of each level. This is a unique inclusion for our studio, and we're excited to allow players a glimpse into the creative process. Alright, so all of that stuff is great, but for my money, the most exciting part about all of this with The Last of Us Part 2 is the new game mode, the roguelike game mode being added to the game for the first time in No Return. We just saw God of War do a great roguelike mode with Valhalla. Now you're getting it with The Last of Us with No Return. No Return is the biggest addition to Last of Us Part 2 Remastered, and it's a roguelike survival mode designed to let players prove their mettle in randomized encounters and experience The Last of Us Part 2's combat in a fresh experience. This mode includes a host of playable characters to choose from, a lot of them playable for the very first time in The Last of Us. They each come with their own traits to suit different playstyles. Players will chart their own course on each run, choosing between various stealth and combat encounters that will pitch you against a range of enemies with unique twists that can add new unexpected factors to any given encounter. Each run will offer a new chance to decide what rewards you get after each encounter, how you spec out your character, and more. Unlock more characters, skins, and more as you progress to use in this mode. Customize your own run and compete on a global leaderboard as part of a daily run. This is the component of the game that excites me the most, and PlayStation going forward as a whole, if they want to take their popular IP and their combat mechanics of their existing IPs, implement it into a roguelike mode and see how it turns out, I am all for that, because this is something they can easily build upon and continue to update. They continue to note, survive as long as you can in each run as you choose your path through a series of randomized encounters featuring different foes and memorable locations from throughout Part 2, all culminating in intense boss battles. Unique gameplay modifiers can offer new and unexpected challenges as you fight to succeed and survive in a host of different encounter types. Plays Ellie, Abby, and a variety of unlockable characters. This includes characters such as Dina, Jesse, Lev, and Tommy, and more, each with unique traits to offer a variety of playstyles. Really interested in seeing how this turns out, and I hope that they continue to update this and build upon it. I don't know if they're going to continue to update it within Part 2. This might be the infancy of No Return and this roguelike component, and then they can build upon it in Part 3, and, you know, dare I say, even include elements like multiplayer that could really be something compelling, at least for me. I think that could be pretty exciting. I think a lot of other people would agree that could be pretty exciting. But for now, we'll take what we can. It's a $10 upgrade for a game most of you guys already own. A lot of you guys loved it. I didn't love the main story. I didn't love the main campaign, but I've always said, I think from a gameplay standpoint, a visual standpoint, it's outstanding. And then you're adding this No Return mode. You're adding some bells and whistles, a developer commentary, I think all that stuff is easily worth the $10 asking upgrade price. And then if you do want to buy it outright, at least it's $50 instead of $70, am I right? That'll do it for me. Let us know down below in the comments section. Are you picking up Last of Us Part 2 Remastered? Have you already completed the game and you don't see any need right now? Let us know down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.